This Risk map is a Dracon Fortress. And this is another 6-player fixed card game. I'm Red, the second player in this game. And from what we saw, this map has a lot of small continents with small troop bonuses, so I'm wondering how this will turn out in a multiplayer fixed card game. And from what I saw, judging from my troops arrangement, is that this middle 4 troops continent was the most suitable continent to go for, but actually I was wrong because I had a great opportunity to go for the 3 troops 2 territory continent at the top left. So actually I cannot believe I missed that opportunity and only realized it with the green player adding his troops to it. So my mistake will probably cost me of not getting a continent soon. It could possibly take me a while to capture that middle continent if the pink player doesn't move his troops out, but let's hope he will, and that's assuming he doesn't decide to contest for it with me. And then obviously I would like to hope that neighboring players will be friendly towards me, otherwise it doesn't look too much promising with having multiple borders to guard. But we are going to see how the game will turn out. And for now the green player can enjoy his continent, I guess. I wish I would have captured it for myself. I mean, if the pink player's troops were removed from my way, then I could still wipe the green player out from his continent. He couldn't really retaliate with him not having more troops near, but the pink player's turn has already passed, and the green player will probably strengthen his borders. Anyway, an interesting thing I noticed is that the pink player's continent actually has only one border. So that continent is like Australia in classic map, so just gives 1 troop more, which is 3. But since there are a lot of smaller continents, to turtle in this continent and do nothing probably wouldn't work out too great, because other players who would have more continents would outgrow you the troop-wise. So because of that probably you should look to expand. So just obviously being wise about it, as if you try to grab too much stuff, then you will bring other players' attention towards yourself and get attacked. But generally you should look forward to gradually expand if possible. This is what should be the pink, yellow and green players' plan, so just obviously after assuring to have enough troops for the current continent so nobody could easily wipe them out from them. And as you can see myself, I'm still in a primitive stage of trying to get the first continent for myself. So these 3 players are already ahead the position-wise, while I, purple and blue are still struggling to get the grip of the game. But just because you didn't get a good position at the beginning of the game, doesn't mean that you will immediately lose. There are a lot of things that could happen, so I'm not stressing out yet. The pink player has actually moved his troops further, so that's good news that he isn't just planning to leave them there. I would guess he is planning to bring them to the another continent he's already started going for, the one above me next to green, so I think that's possible he will even invade green if the green player doesn't strengthen his border. So let's actually even remove my 2 troops army from that continent to help the pink player out, and hopefully the pink player appreciating will do the same. But yeah, gotta push the pink player further. Though with the purple player removing his troops from the exit, the pink player would have had the opportunity to move out from my continent down, but now I just blocked his way. But let's hope he will invade the green player. I wouldn't like to crush that 5 troops army of the pink player before trading in a set, and then another reason is because the pink player is my ally, so I wouldn't like that he will suddenly get mad on me and break the alliance. The pink player seems to have a good position, so it's better to stay in good terms with him. But yeah, he added all newly gotten troops to his main continent, so he isn't attacking green, and with that his troops stay in my continent. Which I could still crush since I see I've gotten a troop set, or I could move my army out from the way and let him remove his troops from my continent. Though my biggest worry now is not whether I will capture my continent or not, but whether other players would be friendly neighbors with me or not. I'm talking about the green player, and it looks like the purple player might expand in the middle and will get even closer to me. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be next to purple. He looks like a type of a player to look to expand fast, and since he didn't accept my alliance request, I feel like his further plan would be to sooner or later to wipe me out from my continent, as after all I'm the closest player next to him, and then since not being allied with the green player, I would have been expected to possibly get invaded by him too. So with even 2 players who could likely attack me, I decided to switch my plan to going for the continent next to pink. He's my ally, so he shouldn't attack me, and then besides him there would be no other neighboring players as of now. So I think that's my best plan. And surprisingly it might work out even better than I was expecting. As once I moved out from that continent, the purple player had finally accepted my alliance request after there are none bigger stacks of my troops next to him being left, so he probably doesn't feel afraid or irritated by me anymore. Actually I'm very happy to be allied with purple, since with him rapidly expanding and getting more continents he should become a very big problem for someone. But since we are allies, he will probably attack all others before touching me, so assuming he doesn't have multiple alliances. But either way I don't think he should be a problem for me anytime soon. So his alliance acceptance was probably the best thing what could have happened for me. As he really looks like an aggressive player who is looking to rapidly expand without even assuring that he could successfully hold his already captured continents. And that shows in experience, and since I would guess he's not that much experienced, I think he won't really hesitate to waste his troops on whoever who gets into a conflict with him, or might even start to invading someone into their continents by himself after he won't have a free continent options anymore. The pink player, even though invaded blue after him letting hold a continent for a turn, looks more of a conservative player who prefers to take things slowly and attack others only with a well-thought risk. To ensure holding his position strongly is probably his biggest priority. Then the blue player, probably like purple, is a player who would look to expand as much as possible fast without worrying too much about safety, so differently than the purple player who wasn't as lucky, as from one side there is pink player who won't let him hold another continent next to him, and from another is the yellow player from which to take continents wouldn't be easy, and to get into a conflict with him would quickly lead the blue player of getting eliminated. So the blue player was slowed down and cannot do something about his position much. Then the green player is kinda in between an aggressive and passive player. Like he invaded the purple player with his extra army into the purple player's unguarded continent, but he didn't choose his another army to invade the purple player into his other continents. So he won't initiate any big conflicts, but if he can invade someone easily and without wasting many troops then he probably will, which probably was a very bad idea to invade the purple player because he doesn't really hesitate to waste his newly gotten troops at all, so the green player by invading him back then, made himself as a natural target to be focused on by him, so he would better hope someone else would invade the purple player to bring his attention away from him, as otherwise the future doesn't seem too bright for him. And then finally when it comes to yellow, he looks like a more conservative player too, which will be wise about expanding and prioritize his continent's safety before making another major move. And then also he won't initiate any conflicts by himself. He's not type of a person to look for some problems, but my biggest question is how will it be after another player finally invades him? Will he be reasonable with his troops like the pink player to not over-attack, or will he go crazy about that, which could possibly increase other players' chances to win? And yeah, the pink player looks like a very smart player from what I've seen so far. He only makes reasonable attacks and probably knows about player psychology too. Like he understands what he doesn't have to guard against me much since he knows I won't invade him anyway, then reasonably attacks blue and takes a continent from him having a strong guard, and then doesn't necessarily get into a conflict with the purple player, and doesn't make any random attacks in general, from what I've seen from blue, green and purple coming. Well, purple's attacks actually not so random, he just basically doesn't hesitate to waste a ton of troops differently than me, pink and yellow. I mean that isn't something too smart for the purple player, but I mean if other players are mostly passive and just let him hold multiple continents, then why not? He sees the potential to expand and increase his troop bonuses even more. So I'm just wondering for how long will it last. Sooner or later either some players will start attacking him or he overattacks some players by himself. So the only exception would be as if all other players are really big turtling players, but I don't really think so. And yeah, we didn't have to wait too long. The green player has had enough, and this time attacked the purple player seriously. Well, I guess rest in peace, green. I mean, I'm so confident that he is going to get destroyed by purple. Basically, never start a conflict in which you know you won't be able to prevail. Don't start a conflict with someone so unless you know that you will be able to finish it and get rid of that opponent for good. So the exception is when it's necessary needed, like when it comes to the balance of the game. What I mean is when looking to the troops counter, no player would have more troops than others combined, but that mostly usually comes getting to the 3-player situation, as obviously it could be really hard for one of the players to end up having more troops than 4 or even 5 other players combined. These players basically have to destroy each other or let someone hold like half of the map while not really having many continents themselves. So as you can see, the green player is getting demolished by purple. I mean, his only hope was the pink player, since the yellow player's attention was on the blue player with him invading him into yellow's continent after getting intimidated and scared of pink. But pink is more of a conservative player who won't attack someone if it's not a great value for him. He won't stupidly waste too many troops. And then obviously I wouldn't attack the purple player by myself. As why would I, while the purple player seems to not be bothered by me at all while could potentially crush my opponents? I mean, who else would crush someone if the purple player gets eliminated? Pink and yellow seem to be more of passive players who don't unnecessarily look for some problems, while the purple player is just natural to that. And also, since he builds a bigger army next to pink, I know that he's intimidated by him. So once he deals with the green player, I think the pink player will be his next target. And what else I could want from the game? It would just be plainly dumb for me to start attacking purple, and end up being in a Mexican standoff with the pink and yellow players. Though when it comes to the pink player, then probably it would have been in his best interest to attack purple, because when an aggressive player builds a big army next to you, then don't wait for anything good. It's obvious that the pink player will be the purple player's next target. Anyway, as you can see, I couldn't resist to finally capture that 5 troops continent next to me. The green player wasn't a problem anymore, so I knew nobody would invade me, assuming my allies stay loyal to me. But I mean, most importantly, I didn't want to leave this continent for the purple player. This continent is more isolated from other players, and they would have had only one border to invade him since another one is covered by me. So while I want that the purple player would keep expanding and bringing attention towards himself, I want that he would rather continue focusing on the continents in the center, which have a lot of borders and could be easily invaded with others wanting. And then another thing is that I wouldn't want to make it too obvious for other players that I'm in the alliance with purple. I would guess I'm currently being more seen as a neutral player in the pink and yellow players' eyes. While if the purple player captured a continent next to me and wouldn't strongly guard, then they would probably realize that the purple player is not that much concerned about me like about all others. I think the purple player might be a player who only allies with one person and takes that alliance too seriously. And if so, then it's very good news for me. What I see now is that the yellow player, by capturing some extra continents, has probably brought purple's attention from pink to himself. I mean, the purple player is still concerned about pink and obviously still guards against him, but I guess now he will be more inclined to attack yellow and make sure that he would be the only one to hold multiple continents. Actually, it was really good to see the yellow player capturing some extra continents, as before that it really looked that the yellow player was really mostly concerned about the pink player's biggest army, and if the yellow and pink players had crushed themselves, then it might have led the purple player of winning the game. Or like I would have had to start attacking the purple player by myself, which isn't something I want. I mean, I want to see other players destroying themselves, but what I don't want is that while 2 other players would be fighting each other, the third one meanwhile would be growing strong. But actually I'm not as much concerned anymore after additionally getting and successfully holding that 5 troops continent, so now it isn't that too likely for someone to become way much stronger than me. So I just obviously hope that the purple player will continue to attack others. He is the one who progresses the game for me. I do not have to do anything by myself, so just to continue hoarding troops and watch the world burn. Like the purple player is taking my alliance so seriously. While I couldn't even imagine my frustration if ending up in a 3-player situation with yellow and pink. I don't even imagine how would it go, but generally would be a lot of passivity. I mean the pink player knows to not waste his troops for not a good reason, so the game might mostly depend what the yellow player would decide to do. And alright, talking about the pink player himself, he finally makes a very major move and attacks the purple player. And while some others would say that it was a waste of troops, I would say that it was in the pink player's best interest to attack purple, as after purple would have done with yellow, the next purple player's target would be him. So it's in the best pink player's interest to end up in a 3-player endgame with any other players than purple, and for me with any player plus purple as a must, as he would stay in a strong alliance with me and do the dirty work to destroy my opponent that I might even wouldn't have to do anything myself. So that's kinda sad for me that the game is leading towards the 3-player endgame with yellow and pink. That's sad to see my best ally purple getting destroyed, or I would rather say puppet. Though that's possible that the pink and yellow player will still get into a conflict with each other, ending up over attacking each other and giving me the game. I mean, I see a big tension between two of their borders. Though looking to the troops counter, I could have probably started attacking someone by myself, either yellow or pink. I wasted that potential, and I'm not so sure if it would be a great idea to potentially try fighting both of my opponents at once after the purple player gets eliminated. Well, actually he won't. That's really surprising to see the yellow player quitting the game. Like that's the best thing that could have happened to me, as now the victory for me will be guaranteed for sure. So just assuming the yellow player doesn't suddenly come back. But instead of letting his bot grow strong, I have to take the unguarded continent from him and prepare to deal with the pink and purple players. Well, that's assuming they don't destroy themselves, as actually I would like to stay as a loyal ally for them both and might even take the yellow bot first if they are going to let me hold multiple continents and receive tons of troops. Not yet though. Right now I fortified my biggest army next to yellow, so the yellow bot not having any territory to attack would invade the pink player, crushing his army. But yeah, the pink player is not that dumb to continue being in the alliance and letting me receive way too many troops. I knew that he's a very decent player from the beginning, so I'm not that actually surprised. And yeah, he even removed his army from the bot, so it wouldn't get crushed stupidly. So just too bad that for the pink player that the yellow player quit the game and left him deal with me alone, especially when the pink player really showed the efforts to help him out to destroy purple and didn't even hesitate to waste a lot of troops on him. So like the pink player did the best what he could, but the circumstances led him to the worst things possible. As beside the yellow player quitting the game, the purple player seems to be taking my alliance too much seriously. Well, I mean the pink player was invading purple into his continents by himself, so he just didn't know that the yellow player will actually end up disconnecting. There was supposed to be a 3-player endgame among me, yellow and pink. But now it looks like it will be just me dominating. So actually I have to prepare to take out the pink player first, since he is the only one who keeps attacking me. Then the yellow player is obviously a bot, and then the purple player is a player who keeps attacking the bot, so I think that's really obvious which of the 3 players I should attack in order to maximize my total domination. Like that's hilarious to see the purple player going so crazy on the bot. Like what else I could even say? I gotta love and appreciate the purple player. My plan is very obvious right now. I have to wipe out the pink player's territories from the left side next to my continents, leaving his army trapped inside his continent. So unless he would like to waste his troops on the yellow bot and then to fortify one of my biggest armies next to him, so to prepare to finish with him for once and for good. Right now I'm way too strong anyway, so I don't actually care about the purple player holding these continents, while I could just simply invade them so easily, or might even completely take the purple player out, but gotta appreciate the purple player's alliance and stay loyal to him up to the whole end. So gotta to destroy the pink player and then the yellow bot before even touching him, as he is really taking my alliance way too seriously, so gotta let him enjoy the moment while it lasts. He was a very good lad the entire game, so let's show some respect to him. So yeah, let's finally take out the pink player, and then I'm going to see what I can do for the yellow bot. Actually, while now I could simply attack and take out purple, I'm more wondering to see how the players who takes the alliance too seriously psychology works. Like if it wasn't obvious for him before, then now it should definitely be obvious for sure that I'm dominating the game. So I want to see whether he will finally attack me, or just simply takes the yellow bot out firstly. And yeah, that's what I thought. Loyal up to the end, up until all enemies are defeated. And actually I'm not sure why he is even attacking me, as it's so obvious that he has 0% chances to win this game. To be honest, I don't know why so many lower ranked players do that in general when they completely losing. Well, since it's a new map for me, I accidentally ended up blocking myself, but either way I should finish taking the purple player out in the next turn. So yeah, that's a GG. And now for another non-classical map, I would recommend you watching this video as well. That's another interesting game with a lot of interesting attacks, diplomacy, psychology and strategy. So make sure to check this one out as well.